Welcome to the follow-up of our video testing Marriott Platinum status in 2024. This will be part 2 of 2. We posted part 1 in September, and I will link it in the description below, so feel free to pause this video, watch that one, and come back to this one afterwards if you would like. I'll also summarize the content of the first video here as well if you'd rather just watch this one first. Also in this video, we'll be looking forward to 2025, and we'll go over our plan for next year regarding status with Marriott. So to recap why we're tracking this and why we're making these videos, my wife and I travel internationally a few times a year, and we want to see if Marriott brand loyalty is worth it for us. Being a loyal customer has a cost, basically an opportunity cost. And for us, if we're going to dedicate ourselves to obtaining status in a loyalty program, we want to make sure it's worth it for us. We also want to weigh this against competing credit card incentives that we have. We both have Delta cards that give us an annual credit for booking a hotel through their portal, as well as MQDs if you book during a promotion, and Sky Miles for booking as well. We also have Amex Platinum cards, which have their Fine Hotels and Resorts program with a $200 annual credit and perks for booking using Amex's portal. There are Marriott properties available in this program, but you don't earn Elite Night credits if you book them, and you don't use your status if you book through American Express. By the way, we have a video on Elite Night credits, what they are, and how to earn them with Marriott, and I'll link that below. Also, in some areas we travel, Marriotts are not in a convenient location. We almost always use public transportation, so we always want to weigh where a hotel is located relative to the nearest train or subway station, and where it is relative to the part of the city we want to be close to. Basically, if we're going to go out of our way to book Marriott hotels, even when they're not the most convenient or economical option sometimes, we want to make sure the benefits we get are worth it. Now, this is meant to be a test of the benefits that we find useful. Your opinion of these benefits may obviously be different than ours, but I hope you will find our experience helpful. So we're interested in late checkout, free breakfast or the welcome amenity, lounge access in hotels that have lounges, room upgrades, the annual choice benefit, which for 2024 we chose 5 nightly upgrade awards, and the location versus non-Marriott hotels. So here are the hotels we stayed in this year that we covered in the first video, which again I've linked in the description below. In that video, we go more into depth with each stay, which Platinum benefits we took advantage of, what was offered us, and how we feel Platinum made a difference. So we stayed in the Marriott Warsaw Central in Poland, the AC Hotel Wrocław, also in Poland, the Inn at Opryland, a Gaylord Hotel, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, the Fairfield Osaka, the Chapter Kyoto Tribute Portfolio Hotel, the Marriott Associa Nagoya, and the AC Hotel Tokyo Ginza, all in Japan. Also, we decided to start doing room tours this year in June. So for all 4 of these hotels in Japan, we have room tour videos, which again I will link in the description below. In those videos, we show the room and talk about the location and public transportation options, and also touch on the Platinum benefits of the hotel. If you're interested in the hotels themselves, these would be a great introduction to the hotels. So again, we break down each of those hotels in the first video in much more detail. If you want, you can pause now, follow the link in the description, and come back to this video after you've seen that one. But if you've already seen it, or you want to watch this video first, here's a summary of our experiences at the hotels covered in that video. 5 of the 7 hotels we stayed in gave or offered room upgrades. Our late checkout requests were always accommodated, even if they were as late as the 4 p.m. time advertised as a Platinum benefit. We had free breakfast at 3 of the hotels, 2 of which we had breakfast in the lounges. As a note as well, the AC, Gaylord, and Fairfield Asia hotels do not offer breakfast as an option. We had 3 hotels that had lounges. Actually, 2 of them had lounges, and the third one was a workspace or kind of shared area that is at the Fairfield Osaka. It is a private area that can only be accessed by Platinum members and above, and they do have drinks and things like that, but they don't offer any food or anything like that. So it's kind of almost a lounge. And at the time that we did the first video, we had not attempted to use any of the annual choice benefit or those nightly upgrade awards that I talked about. Now, the second half of the year wasn't as busy for us using Marriott's, but here is our experience and what we have. Okay, so we stayed at the Westin LAX in October for one night. We used a nightly upgrade award on this stay, and we knew it wasn't a good use of the award, but we wanted to test it out for this video, and we had some awards that were going to be expiring in December. So again, we stayed in October of 2024, and we stayed for one night. We requested a noon check-in, but they were not able to accommodate us. They did get us checked in around 1 p.m., however. They offered us a late checkout proactively, which we didn't use because we were flying out before that the next day, but it was nice to have had offered us. Again, we used a nightly upgrade award, and we were upgraded to a junior one-bedroom suite. Now, we did do a room tour of this video as well with that suite, which I have linked as well in the description below. We were offered 1,000 points as a welcome amenity, which we chose instead of a snack, which they didn't really have a great selection of much. So we took the 1,000 points. The breakfast was in the lounge, which is actually very nice, and it was above average. Both the breakfast and the lounge itself were very nice. The hotel's recently been renovated, and it definitely shows. The lounge is only open for breakfast, however, on Fridays and Saturdays. We were there on a Friday night, so that was kind of disappointing, but you only get breakfast in the lounge depending on the time of the week that you stay there. So this is actually the only hotel we stayed in together in the second half of this year, although I do have another stay to report on. So at this point, I'm going to include another stay, which I had by myself. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, my wife and I almost always travel together, and she's the one that actually has the platinum status with Marriott. When I travel alone, I have gold status, which I have through my American Express Platinum card. So I stayed in the Courtyard by Marriott Nagoya, and I wanted to include this as sort of a comparison between the treatment of gold status and platinum status in Japan. Now, I've never stayed at this hotel before, nor have I with my wife, so it's possible that this isn't really an apples-to-apples comparison, but I still hope it will be useful. So again, I stayed alone November of 2024, and I had gold status versus the platinum status I'd have with my wife. I requested an early check-in, which was declined. They were able to get me in actually and get me checked in around 2:30 p.m. But if you've watched our other video, you'll know that at times we've been able to check in as early as 10 a.m. at Marriott hotels in Japan. I was proactively offered a late checkout of 2 p.m., which is the gold time for the late checkout, but it's not always offered or accommodated in the United States, at least in my experience. But I was able to check out later. I did not have lounge access or free breakfast at this hotel, and I had no upgrade. So not really anything I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to have the upgrade or obviously the lounge access. The courtyards that we have experience in Japan have pretty nice lounges and pretty nice breakfast, but it is only for platinum members and above. So based on this and our experience in June at the AC Ginza in Tokyo, it definitely seems like, in Japan at least, there is a meaningful difference between platinum and gold, and that platinum is where they really start taking care of you. So if you're wondering what I'm referring to, essentially our stay at the AC Ginza was booked on my account using free nights that I had on my Bonvoy number, which again is gold status. We weren't offered late checkout or a room upgrade initially when we went to check in at the hotel, but as soon as we mentioned that my wife was platinum and gave them her Bonvoy number, they offered us an upgrade, a 4 p.m. checkout, and the welcome amenity. So our conclusions from the first video still hold true for us. Namely, the platinum status has been a meaningful upgrade over gold in Europe and especially in Asia. Late checkout has been a huge benefit to us, and I talk in the other video about how we've used that at times when we've had late flights or late trains or just times when we have really not wanted to be out of the hotel. And because we travel around a lot and move quite a bit, in our travels, it's always nice to have that late checkout so that you don't have that gap of 3 to 4 hours between checking out of one hotel and checking into the next hotel. We have not had to sacrifice location for the sake of status. We don't always stay in Marriott hotels. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense for us, but we have been able to do so enough to get the platinum status, and we don't feel like we've had to sacrifice for that. So the platinum status has been well worth it for us. And for our lifestyle, we feel like it offers excellent benefits. So I just want to add that that one reason that platinum status works so well for us is that it is not restrictive. We spent over 30 nights this year in hotels and other overnight lodging that didn't contribute to our Marriott status. Much of this was in Scandinavia, where Marriott properties, if they exist, are sometimes in inconvenient locations. So in the other video, I mentioned both Tromsø and Bergen in Norway as examples of this. Platinum is easy enough for us to obtain by staying in Marriott hotels when it makes sense for us, and choosing something else when it doesn't. So as I mentioned before, I just got back from 12 days in Japan alone, and I stayed at Hyatt hotels and a couple of Japanese hotels in addition to Marriott. And it's nice that we can still earn status and have that flexibility. I'm also doing room tours of all those other hotels, by the way, so subscribe to be notified of those. The first, the caption by Hyatt in Osaka, is already up, so check that out if you're interested. Since we posted our first video, we've received a lot of great feedback and experience from our viewers, which we really appreciate. I thought it would be helpful to summarize it here, as I think it helps add to the discussion, and I think it's nice to get the perspective of other people when we're looking at things like this. So the consensus seems to be that platinum, and even titanium status by some accounts, doesn't offer much in the United States. Most people seem to agree that status is still meaningful in Asia, and to some extent in Europe. An early check-in and late checkout is valuable for many of you, as it's very valuable for us. So as we look forward to 2025, here's what we have planned in regards to Marriott status. My wife's Amex Brilliant card gives us platinum status just by holding the card. Still, we plan to stay enough to earn it anyway, which will be nice both for the annual choice benefit and for progress toward lifetime status. My wife has both the Marriott Brilliant card and the Marriott Business card, giving us 40 Elite night credits per year. We are planning a move this year, so we will likely travel a little less than usual, making those 40 nights even more valuable than they generally are. By the way, we have a video explaining Elite nights with Marriott, how many you need and how you get them for status, how credit cards can give you Elite nights and lifetime status. I'll link it in the description below, so watch that next if you have any questions, or if what I'm talking about doesn't make a lot of sense. Also, we're working on a video now looking at if titanium status, which is the next status up in Marriott, would be a reasonable goal and worthwhile for us. That will be coming soon, probably in the next few weeks, so please subscribe to the channel if you want to see that and more content like this. And if you have any experiences with platinum or titanium yourself, please leave it in the comments below. We really appreciate the feedback and we enjoy seeing the perspective of other people. So that about does it for our look at platinum status with Marriott in 2024 and looking forward to 2025. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching.